Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Live. And let me leave you with this story for tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow evening with a total wrap up and highlights of the great debate that took place in Philadelphia. According to the New Republic, panicking Trump makes shocking demands as his campaign struggles. Donald Trump wants congressional Republicans to shut down the federal government. So, Donald Trump is once again trying to steer the Republican Party from the back seat. On Tuesday, the Republican presidential nominee decided to plant himself in the middle of the debate over funding the government, making it that much harder for House Speaker Mike Johnson to rally his caucus behind a 6-month continuing resolution to avert a shutdown in 3 weeks. At the crux of the issue is the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, or SAVE Act, a piece of legislation that will require proof of citizenship in order to vote. Well, I wonder, does it apply to everybody? Or does it apply just to black people? Or does it apply to people that they don't like? Because if you want proof of citizenship, then that should apply to everybody who's voting, including the senators, the congressmen, the Supreme Court justices, the politicians. Everybody should be required to do it, and not just a certain select group of individuals that they consider to be undesirables, like African Americans. We know how y'all feel about us. We're not stupid. Quote, if Republicans in the House and Senate don't get absolute assurances on election security, they should in no way, shape, or form go forward with a continuing resolution on the budget, close quote. Trump wrote on Truth Social Tuesday afternoon, quote, the Democrats are trying to stuff voter registrations with illegal aliens. Don't let it happen, close it down. The only person who's trying to steal votes is him. The only person who's trying to rig the election is him. The only person who is fraudulently going about trying not to do things honestly and decently is him. The only person who wants everything his way is him. Point blank, bottom line. Always beware of people who are always accusing somebody of doing something. They are the main culprit and the culprits behind what they're accusing everybody else to do. The child who's always running to their mother saying so-and-so did something to me is the main child that's the one doing everything, because they know that the brother or the sister will tell, so they want to get to their mother first and lie to their mother or lie to their father, so that when the truth finally comes out, they're looking all innocent when they are the guilty culprit. That's what Trump is doing. It's a shell game, 3-card Molly. We know about 3-card Molly. We know about the shell game. You can't play with us. We saw you coming 10,000 miles even before you came. So he's hollering about fraud. He's hollering about rigged elections because he is mad. He's pissed off because he knows that he's going to lose the election. And he's trying to do everything that he possibly can to steal it. So you're right. Stop the steal. Stop the Republicans from stealing the election. Trump regularly and baselessly insists that Democrats are letting undocumented immigrants vote in an attempt to rig the election. What did I just say? This latest claim comes as he struggles to attract new voters, with his presidential opponent Kamala Harris has seen a steady rise in the polls. I told you in the last video, stop believing all that garbage about the polls tightening up. The polls are not tightening up. She's surging ahead, and she's going to continue to. It is, of course, already illegal and impossible for non-citizens to vote in U.S. elections. But adding a proof of citizenship requirement to the stopgap funding measure would restrict voter access in less resource regions of the country and add another barrier to fulfilling the quintessential American idea of a free and fair democracy. Just like down in the deep South, during the segregation and all that kind of stuff, they demanded black people count all the marbles inside the jar and all that stupid stuff. How many birds are flying through the air? A litmus test. When half of the people who were voting were ignorant and couldn't even read or write. And you're going to talk about black people? What about the illiterate white people that were down in the deep South? So don't give us that malarkey about we don't know what we're doing. Johnson, meanwhile, is already on the verge of losing the funding measure currently. The conservative leader is facing 6 no votes while he can only afford to lose the votes of 4 House Republicans. But it's not the first time that Trump has tried to seed division in the American legislative system. From the campaign trail earlier this year, the former president had a heavy hand in coercing Republicans to tank a bipartisan border deal so that he could overinflate concerns about immigration and run on the issue. It's not going to work. You tried it tonight at the debate and you were dismal at it. All he kept talking about was immigration, 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 because his advisors told him to keep bringing it up. Don't stick to the issues. Just talk about immigration. Well, you know what? You lied. And that's why you have to be fact-checked. People aren't as dumb as these so-called geniuses think that we are. We're much more smarter than people give us credit for. I'll be back tomorrow night with new updates, new analysis, new commentary, new perspectives on all the events that are happening politically. So it's heating up. So since it's heating up, I'll just be staying on the topics about politics, and I'll put some other stories in just to break up the monotony. But the Trump train is soon coming to an end. And J.D. Vance, he is a a-hole. Never surrender, never quit.